Hello, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to code the Magic Conch from SpongeBob in Python. If you don't know, the Magic Conch is basically a purple seashell that answers the questions you ask it. So let's start. We're going to define a function called magicConch, and the input will be the question we ask, which we'll just call question. Now the first thing we want to do is find the list of replies that the Magic Conch could give you. So we'll call our list replies. And now we need to fill it with all the possible replies from the Magic Conch. Okay, so I filled in this list with all the possible replies from the Magic Conch. And for this last reply, to put the apostrophe here, you can either use the backward slash, like this, and put it before the apostrophe, or we could just use the apostrophe normally and use double quotes on the outside of our string, and that'll also work. Okay, so now for the next step. The Magic Conch randomly gives out replies, so we need to find a way to return a random reply out of this list. Now to do that, we need to import a package called random. Import random. There's this function called random.choice, which randomly picks an item from a list. So for example, if we say return random.choice replies, it will return a random reply from our list, or a random item from our list. So let's try asking our Magic Conch a question. Print Magic Conch, can I have something to eat? Okay, and as you can see, it replied, try asking again, which is this reply right over here. So now that we've made the Magic Conch, let's make it a bit more sophisticated. You may have noticed that throughout the function, we never use the question itself. We never use the input for any of the code. So now we're going to do that. First, we want to check if the question is actually a question, because right now we could enter anything, like we can enter an integer, 5, and we'll still get a reply. So first, we check if the question is a string. Okay, so we're going to have an if statement. If type question string. Now basically what this does is it checks if the variable question is a string. So we only want this function to run if the question is a string. So all our code is going to be indented in this if statement, and we'll write else return you did not ask a question. So now that we've checked if our variable is a string, or if our input is a string, we also want to check if the input is a question. And we'll do that by checking if there's a question mark in the string. So we can say if question mark in question. So now this will check if there's a question mark inside our string. If there is a question mark in our string, we'll return a random reply. But otherwise, we'll return you did not ask a question. Actually, let's change this just so that the replies are different. You didn't enter a string. And we have to use double quotes because there's an apostrophe in that sentence. So now let's test out our code. Can I have something to eat? And this time we have to add a question mark so that it works. Okay, so as you can see, we got a response. Now let's see what happens if I remove the question mark. Okay, so it tells us that we did not ask a question, which means that this part of the code is working. Now finally, we're not going to input a string. We're going to input, let's say, a number, like that. Okay, so this part of the code also worked. It's telling us we didn't enter a string. So that's how you make a Magic Conch in Python. Thank you for watching. Magic Conch, should everyone subscribe to my YouTube channel? Okay. Yes.